I am Dr. Bhuvaneswari, Assistant Professor from St.Joseph College of Arts and Science, Cuddalore. Today we are going to see what are the problems faced by women entrepreneurs. So before that, who are women entrepreneurs? So you can say women entrepreneurs are the women or a team of women who are establishing an enterprise or adopting an enterprise, who are ready to take the risk. They're able to plan and combine the resources, whatever is needed to manage the business. So in simple words, you can say the women who lead, organize and manage their own enterprises. And moreover, they are also ready to face any financial and economic challenges which are associated with the business. So these are some of the problems faced by women entrepreneurs in India. The first is the financial problem. So money is to a business what food is to the human body, and this is vital for any business. The business can be big or small. However, the women suffer in this aspect because they do not have any access to extra funds, family and property, and at times they get zero support, material and financial form, from their own families itself. They even face difficulty in securing funding externally, as women are perceived as low risk takers, and hence they're not able to attain the desired success for their own venture. So for this, to combat this, women should take the aid of government schemes provided for females like SMEs and the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, especially in a place to fund for the unfunded. The second point is fierce competition. So here women are still struggling to find their footing in a man's world, and entrepreneurship is no different. So we are facing a lot of competition between existing and upcoming businesses. So also having a standalone product that manages to grab eyeballs of people in the market is hard to manage, which ultimately leads to failure or liquidation of women-run business. The third thing is lack of education. So this is a very major hindrance for women, as it can be both a foundation of success or failure in any sphere of life. Nearly 60% of the women are reportedly illiterate in India, which has always been one of the greatest socioeconomic problems which is faced by our country till date. So due to the lack of education and even basic awareness, women are far from many happenings around the world, especially about the technological disruptions and the rising and falling markets and the business knowledge of any kind. So lack of education and adequate exposure is one huge impediment in the way of women, and one of the top problems of the women entrepreneurs. The fourth is striking a balance between the family and the business. So women, especially the married women with children, they shoulder plenty of responsibilities. So naturally they find it fitting between home, family and business, and it really can be considered an art to be able to achieve a work-life balance with so much on your plate. So working for yourself does bring about a lot of flexibility, but every business is a roller coaster ride for the most part, and managing the same can become extremely difficult with childcare or taking care of the old parents and of course their own spouse. So this is also one of the biggest problem of entrepreneur. But you through time management, you can set time for meeting clients, emails, for admin work. So you can prioritize with the duties and the hours you have to devote for the family as well as for your children. So next is the male dominated industry. So women entrepreneurs are making waves in the market with their dedication and vigor. So here women is seen as inferior to men despite having the right attitude and aptitude for the job. So we can see that male chauvinism is still prevalent in India, and it is not restricted to simply rural areas but in urban setups also. So the societal and cultural expectations of women, it has always been different than that of a man. Though women are now performing both the domestic and professional duties also, they are perceived as taking on the role of a husband and outrunning him. So in the industry also you can see nearly 47% of women in the workforce, yet it is a bias towards a male way of doing things. So to combat this situation, women, they can equip themselves with such armor, and that will help them not just in a professional space but for lifelong. So they have to cultivate confidence, and they have to be assertive, so a man or people in general. And you have to also stay positive, so that also will attract more good people, and it will help you to stay on top of your game. And you have to handle conflicts, crisis handling, leadership roles. So all these are some of the social and top problems of women entrepreneur. The next is limited mobility. So here safety of women, it is a huge global issue. So single women cannot travel anytime, anywhere to procure raw material. So even some crucial meetings or taking a flight to another country or city without taking approval from their parents or spouse, it is not easy for them to move. So mobility is identified as a new count to enable gender parity. So mobility and workforce participation is directly proportional to each other. So next is the low risk bearing ability. So this ranks high among problems of women entrepreneurs. Women, they tend to be low risk takers, and rightly so, since they have to look and care for so many factors surrounding them, and that will impact of their actions also. So many women lead sheltered lives and are not financially independent as well. So because of this, they always have a fear of failure and judgment lurking in their minds, and consequently they cannot take all sorts of risks and make all sorts of moves in their entrepreneurial journey. But nowadays it is gradually changing, as women with adequate support are managing to take risks as and when they are required. So solution for this is simply they have to realize that risk bearing is just a fundamental requisite of being an entrepreneur. It can be a man or it can be a woman. So once a woman is able to master this ability, they will be upcoming than men in their own area. Next is lack of a support network. So nearly 48% of female founders have reported not having mentors to guide them through their journey. So networking has become the new go-to for every sphere, personal and professional. It can be for seeking jobs or for starting up. It is less about what you know and rather who you know. So men must attend networking and entrepreneurial events, so that it will be helpful for them in their own industry. So once they find their network and people, they'll be able to add them to their network, and they can ask them what they need in their business. The next problem is feeling the need to conform. So despite of these achievements, women do feel this need to conform, and they like to stick to a certain idea of how a leader should look like. So this is completely fine to have a role model, but when replicating someone's personality and the idea of success is quite unnecessary, because one should learn how to be comfortable in their skin, realize their own uniqueness, and let go of how they are being perceived. The last problem is fear of failure. So failure is real hard, and can manage to break you, and it is highly possible in a business venture Naturally, failure is a huge threat to anyone with dreams. It can be a man or woman due to its implications. So that insecurity and self-doubt will make women refrain from dreaming big, and they'll stick to their lane when they should be out of making things happen. So there would always be something holding you back in life, and the same when you start a business also. So they say the beginning is always the hardest, and rightly so. And just because a hurdle seems insurmountable doesn't mean we shouldn't try. So we should break free from all perceptions and problems, and should think of what can go right and move on. So thank you.